is becoming overly attached or emotional to their partners, especially if it's too quickly. And a lot of this comes down to you speeding the intimacy up because you're not at ease with yourself. You're not comfortable with yourself. So you need other people's validation to tell you that you should feel comfortable with yourself.
People may place a higher value on the opinions of others, particularly those who are close to them or whose approval they seek. This can make positive feedback.
Clinginess usually results in relationships that have lower satisfaction, increased stress, and usually causes relationships to feel suffocating and intrusive. And this is why today we're going to talk about how clinginess changes the way a man feels about you. This is the thing. The source of clinginess comes down to one thing, and a feeling of abandonment when you were a child. People who are clingy often exhibit anxious attachment styles. And this attachment style is characterized by fear of abandonment and a need for constant reassurance from their partners and their loved ones. And this can cause the man to feel like you're suffocating them, to feel like they have no freedom, right? And it naturally causes the woman to push the man away, right? So pretty much your clinginess is your solution to relieving the feeling of abandonment. But ironically, it's what causes people to abandon you. And this is the unfortunate part, is that individuals with an anxious attachment style may have experienced inconsistent and unpredictable parenting during their childhood, right? Leading to a sense of insecurity and anxiety in their relationship. And the irony of it is that same feeling of trying to suppress that feeling, trying to overcome that feeling, your reaction to it, is what causes men to run away from you, because it just feels too much. It's way too much energy. So we're going to talk about today how clinginess affects the way a man perceives you. What are the behaviors that comes across as clingy, and what are the strategies you guys can implement to stop being so clingy, right? Don't forget, we're going to London at the end of the month. We're having a seminar about how to develop charisma. Trust me, this is going to be so awesome. I'm so excited. And we're going all across the United States this year and next year doing seminars. You can check out the dates right here. And don't forget, if you like this video, hit the like button or subscribe, or I'm closing the channel. When you're clingy, it lowers your value. You can be the most attractive woman in the world, and if I sense that you're clingy, I'm naturally going to ask myself, why is she so clingy?
Clingy behavior can be seen as a sign of insecurity or neediness, which may be unappealing to some people. It can give the impression that the clingy person is unable to be happy or fulfilled without their partner's constant attention. Clingy behavior can also be seen as a lack of respect for personal boundaries and space. It can make a person feel suffocated or overwhelmed, leading to tension and conflict in the relationship. Clingy behavior can create an unequal power dynamic in a relationship, where one partner assumes the role of caretaker or emotional support system for the other. This can lead to feelings of resentment and frustration over time.
Like, how does she see herself? It's almost like we can see how you perceive yourself by your clinginess. Imagine that you're meeting a guy. Imagine that you guys meet me, and I'm like this on camera, but then in real life I'm clingy, right? How would that change the way you guys perceive me? You guys will almost like kind of lose respect for me, and I wouldn't blame you for it. And the reason why is because your level of clinginess and your level of independence, it's almost like a sign of how much I should respect you. And unfortunately, what that does is just communicates weakness, right? And when you act clingy, you actually call somebody who would have been nice, who would have treated you with respect. You inspire people to take advantage of you. People, listen to me, man. Don't get mad at me. I did not make people, okay? I did not make men. That's just how people are.
People are more likely to attack you if they see you as weak or vulnerable. Second, they cannot know for sure that you're weak. They depend on the signs you give out through your behavior, both present and past. Third, they are after easy victories, quick and bloodless. That is why they prey on the vulnerable and weak.
So it naturally lowers your value and naturally makes you look like you have low self-esteem. And it naturally affects the way your partner views you. So you might be the most beautiful woman in the world, or even an average woman, but you're telling men how to feel about you. If you don't value yourself, you're telling him not to value you. Nothing makes a man feel more confident, more satisfied than knowing that his woman will be happy without him. It's a double-edged sword, right? It's almost like I'm proud to be with somebody who could be alone, but it also causes me a little bit of fear of losing you. You know, it's like when you have something valuable. The beauty about having something valuable is that it's valuable and you have it. But the other side of that sword is that it also comes with a deep fear of losing it. But whenever you have something that's not valuable, you don't value it, but also you're not afraid of losing it. So it's like you can't have both sides, right? So it causes a guy to feel proud of you. Let me tell you something. Nothing makes me feel more confident than being with a woman who's confident in herself. I don't know what that is. It feels like you found a gold mine when you experience that.
Now, let's just say your granny found herself a hunk because she purchased my courses or clicked on the description down below and worked with me one-on-one, and I helped her find the man of her dreams. And now your auntie, Aunt Viv, is being a little hater, and she's asking herself, how the hell did granny found herself a hunk, and here I am single? Well, if I was you, I would tell your auntie, first of all, stop being a hater. And second of all, do what Granny did. Check out these courses. One, emotional mastery, right? Granny realized that she needed to work on her emotions. And so she purchased that course. And in 6 weeks, she was able to learn strategies how to control her anxieties. After that, she got herself the course, The Psychological Game of Attraction. So with those strategies, she was able to go from being single to being in a relationship, because that course is for single women. After that, Granny purchased herself the Natural Chemistry, which is a course for women who are in relationships that will teach them how to set boundaries and how to build a natural chemistry without game and get respect from the man. And after that, she purchased Nice Girl, which is a course for women so that they can develop more assertive energy. It is attractive when a woman is assertive and feminine at the same time. And if she doesn't want to pay for them individually, do what Granny did, because she bought the bundle. She purchased all of my course, all for one price. She went in the description down below where she could check out all of those courses, and she purchased them, and that's how she got where she got.
Oh, with that being said, how do you express clinginess? Because a lot of the times, these types of insecurities, we communicate it unconsciously. When I was younger, I communicated clinginess, and I'll be honest with you, I was a very anxious person. I don't know if I still am today, to be honest with you. I really don't know. I'd rather let people tell me that than me say that. But I really was an anxious person. Like, I was somebody who seeked validation from women, you know, and who seeked validation from people. And that's why I became a giver. That's why I became somebody who served people. So you could say that I turned my weakness into a strength, to be honest with you, because you have such high empathy. It causes you to overreact to facial movements, to little facial expressions, and it causes anxiety. So that's one thing.
And this high anxiety causes people to misinterpret aggression, where you think you're seeing threats when in reality there are no threats. And this happens a lot, where you think somebody is offending you, where you think somebody's pulling away, but because of your anxiety, you're misinterpreting somebody who's just, you know, having an off day and they just want to be left alone, and you think it's because they don't love you, which causes you to react in an aggressive way, and now they respond with defensiveness, which then confirms what you felt, but in reality you just self-created it. Plenty of studies show that. You can see it right here.
Other signs of anxiety, and you guys might even say this was about me in my older videos. You watch it. Talking fast, right? Talking fast. It almost feels like my mind is ahead of my words, right? Talking fast movements, like twitchy, right? Somebody says, Delexis, you respond quickly, right? It's like a quick response, as opposed to Delexis, the slowness of it, right? When you look at people who have who have anxiety and who are clingy, their faces look anxious. It's like, you can see it in her face. It's almost like an anxiety, and you can almost sense, you can almost see them trying to suppress the anxious face. Like, another thing about clingy people is that they have deep emotional reactions. They react deeply to things, and this is a positive when it comes to the field of psychology. But when in the dating world, it's a negative, because it causes them to overreact to events.
Empaths are individuals who have a heightened ability to sense and feel the emotions of others. While having a high degree of empathy can be a positive trait, there are also some potential downsides to being an empath. Here are some common negatives or challenges associated with being an empath. Emotional overload. Empaths can be easily overwhelmed by the emotions of others, which can lead to fatigue, burnout, and emotional exhaustion. Difficulty setting boundaries. Empaths often have a strong desire to help others and may have difficulty saying no or setting boundaries, which can lead to feelings of resentment or being taken advantage of. Loss of self. Empaths may struggle with maintaining a clear sense of their own identity and emotions, as they may become absorbed in the emotions and needs of others. Absorbing negative energy. Empaths may unintentionally absorb negative emotions or energy from others, which can lead to anxiety, depression, or physical symptoms. Feeling disconnected. In some cases, empaths may feel disconnected from others who do not share their level of sensitivity or understanding of emotions. Difficulty in relationships. Empaths' heightened sensitivity and emotional intensity can sometimes create challenges in forming and maintaining close relationships, as they may struggle to find partners who can understand or accept their unique needs.
It causes them to, any slight pulling away, the wrong word causes them to get offended by it. For example, one time I was complimenting this woman many years ago when I was a kid. She was one of my teachers, and I was like, "Hey, you're looking good today." And she was like, "What do you mean today?" I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, lady. Right? And that's like that type of like overreaction. And another thing is that you're always, you have a almost like a other signs is consistently seeking validation and attention from your partner. That means texting a lot, calling a lot, responding really fast, complaining that they don't give you enough attention. And look, there's nothing wrong wanting attention. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a certain point when you start too fast without you even knowing it. Consistently seeking validation, having approval seeking behavior. Another thing is becoming overly attached or emotional to their partners, especially if it's too quickly. And a lot of this comes down to you speeding the intimacy up, because you're not at ease with yourself. You're not comfortable with yourself. So you need other people's validation to tell you that you should feel comfortable with yourself.
People may place a higher value on the opinions of others, particularly those who are close to them or whose approval they seek. This can make positive feedback from others more meaningful and convincing. Self-doubt. People may struggle with self-doubt or negative self-beliefs, making it difficult to confidently believe in their own abilities or accomplishments. Cognitive biases. People may be prone to cognitive biases such as self-serving bias or confirmation bias, which can lead them to discount or overlook positive self-talk while giving more weight to positive feedback from others. Social comparison. People may compare themselves to others and feel that positive feedback from others is more valuable or meaningful because it suggests that they are doing better than others.
You don't believe your own affirming words of affirmation and love, or you listen to or you're replaying the criticism of your parents. So rather than that, you prefer somebody else tell you that on your behalf, so that you could believe it. It just says you have low self-esteem, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Feeling insecure or jealous when their partner spends time with others, and this sometimes even shows up in friendships, where you're jealous of your friends having other friends, or even your siblings, or even your parents. Sometimes this even happens when you see your parents with a new partner. You kind of get jealous of it. Feeling insecure or jealous when a partner spends time with other people. Having a tendency to pick fights or create drama in a relationship because it makes you feel alive, and also because it brings attention to you. Fear of intimacy. Overthinking their partner's words and actions. Easily feeling rejected and hurt. All of those signs are signs that you're clingy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because if you recognize it, now we could then work on improving it through the following strategy. The first step is to become your own source of positive emotions. Just like the earth has water deep inside and wells of and springs of water, just the same thing with you. You have a ecosystem of positive emotions that a lot of the times we're not using simply because we go for the easy route.
The human brain is wired to seek out pleasure and avoid pain, which can make it tempting to take shortcuts or rely on external validation rather than putting in the work to develop a strong sense of self-love and self-esteem. This is because it's easier and more immediately gratifying to receive praise or admiration from others than to engage in the sometimes difficult and uncomfortable process of self-reflection, self-improvement, and self-compassion. Additionally, social comparison and feedback from others are deeply ingrained in our culture and society, which can make it challenging to break free from the belief that our worth is tied to external validation. However, relying too heavily on external validation can be detrimental to our long-term mental health and well-being, as it can lead to feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, and a lack of personal agency. It's important to remember that building self-love and self-esteem is a lifelong process that requires intentional effort and self-reflection, but it can lead to greater resilience, happiness, and fulfillment in the long run.
We go for the easy sources of validation. It is true, the easiest way to build confidence is through social feedback. That is true. I mean, plenty of studies show that. It's the easiest way. It's how we build self-esteem when we're children, through the reactions that our parents give us and through the reaction that the environment gives us. It helps if you're good looking, because when you're good looking, you get more positive feedback when you're a child, right? Like, ugly babies, I'm sorry, man, but ugly babies don't get that much positive feedback.
And if you don't believe me, look at these studies. Like, you look these studies up. Look at these right here. I'm not lying to you. I'm not just being an ass.
And also, anxious babies don't get that many positive feedback. Anxious babies causes people to not like those babies. I remember one time.
Now, I feel like it's important to say that a lot of the times a baby could come out with high anxiety, with a high temperament, but how a baby develops over time depends on the parent. So yeah, a baby could come out with high anxiety and it's a lot more difficult to manage, and I get that, right? But at the end of the day, it comes down to the mothers and fathers having the temperament and patience. Unfortunately, you can see the studies right here, but unfortunately, it requires a lot from the parents, especially if the mother is a single mother, right? Where they just cannot handle the baby crying all the time. So it kind of like it doubles. So I'm not just blaming the baby people. Please understand, because babies are babies and they cannot help themselves. So it also comes down to the parent having the emotional stability to be able to handle an angry baby. Not an angry baby, but but also is, since we're talking about babies, I like babies. So I want you guys to give me, if you guys find studies that contradict what I'm saying about babies, please let me know, because I feel like babies, I don't want to blame the baby. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
I was in a plane and there was this baby in front of me. So cute. Oh, is that baby cute? But then once the plane started flying, right, all of a sudden that baby started crying. And for the whole 5-hour flight, that damn baby couldn't stop crying. My God, and that baby was crying with effort. It was almost like at the Olympics for that silly baby. And I remember, bro, I'm a calm person, okay? I love babies. Babies love me. I try to give it faces. I give it, babies like me. After that flight, I looked at that baby with so much disdain. And that baby was like Googie Gaga, like just completely unaware that that baby was the most hated baby on the plane. Like everyone, when the plane landed, I remember everybody giving that baby the evil eye. Because we got so pissed off, because as soon as we landed, I swear to God, that baby shut down. It stopped talking. It stopped crying. And I'm like, oh my God, I was like, I cannot believe I hate this baby. But I felt so bad afterwards, because I'm like, I cannot believe we as a flight unanimously hated this baby. Unbelievable. But it was because, babies don't like flying, and also a lot of times it's sometimes some babies feel more anxiety than other babies naturally.
Babies are like emotion sensing machines. If the parent resents the baby's temperament, the lack of it cannot stop crying, and the parent hates the fact that the child doesn't stop crying, that baby will internalize those emotions, and it'll increase the crying, it'll increase the negativity. And when the baby grows up, you can see these studies about how the baby could just catch emotions from parents, especially if they're in a social situation. The baby can't stop crying, the parent feels embarrassment and feels resentment that it cannot stop crying. The baby will internalize that resentment. Each baby has a different temperament, and most likely that baby had a higher levels of anxiety than most babies, right? So it causes people to give negative feedback, to give the growling look, and it naturally causes you to resent the baby. That negative feedback over time adds up, and it creates without that baby knowing, that could be the source of its anxiety as it grows up, right? So feedback is one of the easiest way to build high confidence or low confidence.
Study published in the journal Developmental Psychology, 2016, negative feedback from adults can have negative effects on infants developing self-esteem. The study found that infants who received more negative feedback from caregivers had lower levels of self-esteem at age 2, as measured through observation of their behavior during a challenging task. The authors suggest that negative feedback may lead to feelings of shame or inadequacy in infants, which can impact their sense of self-worth and confidence. Another study published in the journal Child Development, 2014, found that inconsistent feedback from caregivers, including negative feedback, was associated with lower levels of self-esteem in preschool-age children. The authors suggest that consistent and positive feedback is important for fostering healthy self-esteem in young children. Overall, research suggests that negative feedback from adults can have negative effects on infants' self-esteem, and that consistent and positive feedback is important for promoting healthy self-esteem in young children.
But outside of that, you have something called emotional mastery, which is practicing love and kindness meditation, right? And this is something that I talk about in my course, Emotional Mastery, right? So practicing love and kindness meditation, research has shown that love and kindness meditation can increase positive emotions such as joy and gratitude, and decrease negative emotions such as anger and anxiety. While it may not completely be the solution to clinginess, it can be a helpful practice in managing the underlying emotions that contribute to it. It's as simple as that. I even made a video on how to not be clingy. You can see it right here. How to do the meditation practice, or you could check out my course in Emotional Mastery. But let me give you guys a quick overview about how to do it. Imagine that you're looking at yourself from a third person's perspective, right? And I want you to tell the following things to yourself. May you be free, which means free from emotional pain, free from your own mind, free from unhappiness. May you be happy, and may you be healthy. And wish it with as much intensity as possible. And if you want to, put some music that gets you emotional. For me, it's Heart of the Ocean by Titanic, or Claire de Lune, or Gymnasium. I forgot that song, but some classical music called Gym something. It causes me to feel more empathy. So I look at that, I look at myself, and then I look at myself when I was a kid, who maybe when something really bad happened and nobody was there for me, I imagine that I am telling that to myself. May you be happy, may you be free, and may you be healthy. And say it, put your body into it, right? And then you imagine somebody that you love. You say that to themselves. You say that to them. May you be happy, may you be free, may you be happy. And then you say that to somebody who you are indifferent about, like the mailman. And then you say that to somebody who you're jealous of. All of those 5 people are representative of you. Even the people who you're jealous of. It's the people who you're jealous of is self-hatred masquerading as somebody else in your mind, right? It's like the Matrix, right? And Mr. Smith is everyone, but Mr. Smith can become anything. So when you do that, go through each one and go and do 1 minute of each one, and do that once or twice, right? Do that every day for 30 days and come back. Do that every day for 30 days, and I swear to God, if you do it with as much, just put, may you be happy, may you be free, may you be healthy. Say that with all of your intensity. self-esteem arises. It'll like a spring rising up. You'll feel that self-esteem. That's the first one, right? Because what it will do is that it'll give you the self-love, the love that you felt like you never received. And you realize that, even me saying that, I feel so much better. And you realize that love can only come from yourself. When somebody loves you, you accept that love, and then you allow yourself to love yourself. We're skipping that process, right? Now, the next one is developing a sense of purpose.
Unlike animals with their instincts to guide them past dangers, we humans have to rely upon our conscious decisions. We do the best we can when it comes to our career path and handling the inevitable setbacks in life. But in the back of our minds, we can sense an overall lack of direction as we are pulled this way and that way by our moods and by the opinions of others. How did we end up in this job, in this place? Such drifting can lead to dead ends. The way to avoid such a fate is to develop a sense of purpose, discovering our calling in life and using such knowledge to guide us in our decisions. We come to know ourselves more deeply, our tastes and inclinations. We trust ourselves, knowing which battles and detours to avoid. Even our moments of doubt, even our failures, have a purpose: to toughen us up. With such energy and direction, our actions have unstoppable force.
It allows you to focus on something greater than yourself, right? So it could be religion. It could be you have a cause that you want to work on. It could be that you want to help people because maybe you went through the same problems, like people who've been assaulted sexually or even physically. They then work on other people, help other people through that in order to help themselves. But the point is, when you have a higher sense of purpose, even having children, having a higher sense of purpose and not looking at yourself rather than looking at and trying to help the suffering of other people causes you to let go of that anxiety. So something that you could do is helping other people. Literally that. These videos, people, you guys don't understand. These videos for me is therapy. I get to help you guys, man. I love this because I read the comments and it's unbelievable. It makes me so happy to know that I'm helping you guys out. You guys have no idea, right? So this is my purpose. So whenever I feel sad, I could just make a video and be like, if I was you guys in my situation, what kind of video would I make? And this sense of purpose fills me up inside. Or for example, with painting, because I'm a painter. When I'm in school and I get in the flow state, right, and I'm painting, I completely forget about my problems. And it becomes, or if a girl breaks up with me, I'll focus on painting. I'll focus on playing basketball, and it'll completely make me forget about what happened. Why? Because then I learn to transfer my emotions into something else. If she breaks up with me, then I'll do a painting about it. If somebody hurts me, then I'll do a video about it. If you, in your case, let's just say you are a writer and you're going through something, look at Fyodor Dostoevsky. I love Dostoevsky, by the way. He's so incredible. This guy is unbelievable. This guy is unbelievable, man. Oh my God, man. But his books are a reflection of what he saw. So he uses writing as a purpose, as a way to express his emotions, right? Now, so developing a sense of purpose, developing a calling in life. And you could do that through reading the book Mastery by Robert Greene, or reading chapter 13 of The Laws of Human Nature, How to Develop a Sense of Purpose.
One's traumas or negative emotions as a tool to help others can have several positive effects. By sharing our experiences with others, we may increase our empathy, reduce stigma, and gain a sense of purpose. Reflecting on our own experiences can also increase our self-awareness and lead to personal growth. Additionally, using pain as inspiration for creative work can be therapeutic and transformative, leading to enhanced creativity and a stronger sense of resilience. Sharing our experiences with others who have gone through similar struggles can help us build deeper connections and create a sense of community. While it's important to prioritize our own mental health and well-being, using our traumas or negative emotions to help others can be a powerful tool for healing and connection.
The next one is confronting your pain. By you confronting your anxieties and going into the anxiety and not disassociating, because whenever you feel this anxiety, whenever you feel clingy, you naturally disassociate. You stop feeling your body, and you're all in your head. You're like in a little fantasy world. And the reason why the body does that is to manage trauma, to deal with the stress as a way to regulate emotion. You disassociate. What I want you to do is feel the emotions more.
One possible explanation for this phenomenon is the impact of stress and trauma on the brain. When an individual experiences intense stress or trauma, the brain's normal functioning can be disrupted, leading to changes in sensory processing, memory, and emotional regulation. These changes can lead to dissociative symptoms, such as feeling numb, spaced out, or disconnected from reality. Furthermore, heartbreak, or the emotional pain associated with the loss of a loved one, can also trigger feelings of shock and disorientation, which can contribute to a sense of detachment from reality. This response is a natural part of the grieving process and can be a way for the mind and body to cope with overwhelming emotions.
Go into the emotion, feel it, increase your capacity for pain, confront it. So just sit your butt down, close your eyes, and just do the following. Sit, feel, and breathe. Sit, feel, and breathe. Sit, feel, and breathe. So what does that mean? You sit, you feel the emotion, and you breathe. Feel and breathe. Feel and breathe. Just keep feeling. Whatever fantasies come to your mind, return to the breath and keep feeling. And you'll just keep feeling. And if you're tired of sitting, walk, feel, and breathe. Walk, feel, and breathe. Use your senses fully. Be where you are. Look around you, right? Like Eckhart Tolle says.
Use your senses fully. Be where you are. Look around. Just look. Don't interpret. See the light, shapes, colors, textures. Be aware of the silent presence of each thing. Be aware of the space that allows everything to be. Listen to the sounds. Don't judge them. Listen to the silence underneath the sounds. Touch something, anything, and feel and acknowledge its being. Observe the rhythm of your breathing. Feel the air flowing in and out. Feel the life energy inside your body. Allow everything to be within and without. Allow the isness of all things. Move deeply into the now.
And just be in your senses, because what causes you to feel more anxiety unconsciously is to disassociate, to not feel your body. You're so anxious that you're not even aware of the world around you. This happens, right? And this causes you to lose yourself. What you want to do is get in touch with your senses. Feel your senses. Feel your body. Look. Don't just look, observe the environment. Don't just hear the environment, listen to the environment. Don't just touch, feel what you're touching. Don't let the anxiety disconnect you from reality. What happens is that when you get in touch with your senses, it actually calms you down. And by you allowing yourself to feel that anxiety, now look, if you feel like the anxiety is too much, go see a doctor, go see a therapist. You know, some things you can't handle on your own, and that's a fact. But if you can handle it, just feel it, confront it, look at it, eyeball to eyeball. Don't look away. What happens is that you are allowing your body to consciously feel the feeling. And by consciously feeling the feeling, it's almost like inoculating yourself from a virus. When you inoculate yourself by exposing yourself to a small dose of the virus, your body will begin to create antibodies, and you will develop a tolerance to that. The more you expose yourself to anything, the more tolerant you become. And this tolerance is actually strength. It's actually muscles. It's actually developing emotional acuity, emotional resilience, where the next time this would have caused anxiety, all of a sudden it doesn't.
When our bodies are exposed to a virus, our immune system responds by producing antibodies that can fight off the infection. Similarly, when we experience negative emotions such as sadness, anger, or anxiety, our brains respond by releasing stress hormones that prepare us to face the challenge. However, just as suppressing the symptoms of a virus can prevent our immune system from responding effectively, suppressing our emotions can prevent us from fully processing and dealing with them. Over time, this can lead to chronic stress and emotional dysregulation. On the other hand, Allowing ourselves to feel and express our emotions can help us process them and build emotional resilience. Wait, who's this?
It's my turn. Neuroscience research has shown that when we experience and express emotions, certain parts of the brain are activated, including the amygdala, prefrontal cortex, and insula. These regions interact with each other to regulate our emotional responses and help us interpret and make sense of our experiences. Over time, repeated exposure to emotional stimuli can strengthen these neural pathways, leading to greater emotional awareness and regulation. In summary, just as exposing ourselves to a virus can create antibodies to defend ourselves, allowing ourselves to feel and process emotions can lead to greater emotional resilience and regulation. By understanding the neuroscience behind this process, we can better understand the importance of emotional expression and regulation for our mental health and well-being.
And over time, if you do this, especially the loving kindness meditation, do it for 1 month. If you do this without you knowing it, people will tell you, Melissa, you're so much more calmer. Melissa, you're so less angry. Melissa, you're so relaxed. What happened? Your nonverbals will change. Your talking will calm down. You'll talk slower. You'll move slower. Your eyes will stop looking anxious and your eyes will just relax. Your face relax. Your nonverbals relax. Your muscles relax. There won't be tension and you'll be healed, right? So don't let clinginess sabotage you. Apply these strategies that I taught you. This is how you do it. Now, if you choose not to do it, it's on you. But I just gave you how to overcome clinginess, all right? Do it while I'm closing the channel. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget, we're having a London seminar at the end of the month. Click on the description down below. It's going to be on the 30th and the 29th, I believe. It's going to be in East London. We already have the location ready, and tickets are selling out soon, so purchase it. And we're going to be going to a bunch of cities in the United States. You can see right here where we're going to be going, and I'll see you guys next time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't purchased any of my courses, we have a special bundle deal for everyone. So that you could purchase all of my courses, meaning you could purchase the psychological game of attraction, natural chemistry, and nice girl, along with all of the bonuses. Originally, if you purchase everything without the bundle, it'll be around $500, to be honest with you. But right now, if you guys purchase it with the bundle, you guys will be able to get all of these courses: psychological game of attraction, which is for women who are single; natural chemistry, which is for women who are in a relationship; nice girl, which is a course on assertiveness, along with all of the bonuses: social mastery, practical mastery in terms of how to master anything, social mastery in terms of how to master your social skills, and the laws of human nature, wherein it's part of the Robert Greene book club I used to have. All of these, naturally, like I said, it's $500. Now you get it at $394, which is essentially 20% off everything. But if you guys want to purchase a more affordable bundle, you guys can purchase the bundle without the bonuses, and that will be at $224 rather than the $300. Well, rather than the $293 that you guys would naturally purchase it. So you could purchase it with the bundle or without the bundle. You could purchase it with the bonuses or without the bonuses. It's all of the work that I put in the last 4 years, in the last 5 years, actually, all of the research that I've done. And this course, rather than watching all of my videos, and because they could be random and you could sort of like lose the big picture because there's just so many videos, you guys get all of the content condensed in a course. Trust me, people, if you guys purchase this, you won't regret it. If you haven't purchased it, hopefully this will push you towards it, because it's something that I believe in, and everyone who's purchased my course have been satisfied with it. And if they didn't like it, I always give their money back. I have never rejected a refund. All right. So purchase it right now. Click on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle, and I'll see you guys inside.